Hey gang, good morning. Mike over here, Baker Street Consulting. Article that we posted last week on creating meaning in the business that people can identify with, that staff wants to be a part of. One of the things that we focus on when we're in a building with a new client is, first of all, ensuring that leadership is all on the same page, that they're all looking at the same thing, and that they all understand why. And one of the reasons for that is that when you align that meaning, right, for all of your leaders and all of your managers understand that, okay, the reason that we need this simple standard in place, let's say it's just something as simple as having all of the line level staff. Let's say you're in a chain of hotels. Why do we need to make sure everyone clocks in at the same time, right? And is within the stringencies of that really, really simple, really, really base level standard. Well, one of the reasons that we do it is that we don't want anyone to see us playing favorites, right? So we make sure that they clock in at this time so that they know that we're not playing favorites. We know that they need to be in this stringent set of timelines so that all of the staff can look at each other in the eye and know that they're all on the same page, that they started their day on the same page. And then we make sure that they're all logoed when they clock in, right? You can't clock in and then go to the bathroom and change, right? You clock in and your logo's on, and there's a manager willing to stand there and make sure that that's happening, right? So we make sure that all those little meanings, all the small meanings have to line up so that the managers are totally on board with each other and that there's no argument amongst them of whether or not we're doing this or not, whether or not we're allowing this or not. It's just no, we're not allowing this thing that falls outside of those boundaries. Everybody comes to know what to expect. So one of the reasons is that it aligns that meaning, but the second reason might even be more important, is that you're increasing the manager interactions along that line, right? So you have that line of meaning that you're building where you're at the bottom and your managers or directors, your supervisors and your staff are all built on top of that meaning that you've chosen, right? But then you want to increase the number of interactions along that line of meaning so that your managers are interacting often with your staff, interacting on measurable things. And it also makes it that the percentage of those interactions that are feedback related, constructive criticism, right? Opinions on what they might be able to do better, right? Those things that we definitely want to share with somebody, but sometimes we hold back, right? If you haven't said good morning to someone, if you haven't complimented that person, if you haven't said, oh, hey, good morning, yeah, looking good, okay, thank you, yep, got your logo on, great, have a great day today, right? If you haven't done those small things, now when it's time to say, hey, listen, Mike, this thing went wrong over on that job, and I just wanted to talk this through and have a conversation about how this went, right? Now that's your only interaction if you haven't done all those small things. If you haven't spent the time to build that relationship of small things, then what ends up happening is every single time that you have to offer criticism, it's a single interaction. Or maybe it's 70% of your interactions. Or maybe it's 50% of your interactions, right? And there's a very simple study that was done, it's a game theory style study, where they looked at smaller mice playing with bigger mice. You can look at that staff and how they feel about their managers. A lot of times they do feel like the managers are above them. Ideally, over time, that doesn't become so. They feel that they're an authority for sure, but hopefully they don't start to feel like they're above them. But the point is that a smaller rat would only interact with the bigger rat. Let's say they were playing and wrestling, would only interact with them if the bigger rat let them win roughly 30% of the time. When the percentage dropped below that, the little rat would just stop interacting. It wouldn't play. Okay, so that is really simple, and we do it too. I do it, you do it, your staff does it, right? Nobody's special. We all have that desire to have a certain amount of wins within what we do, and we're all willing to accept a certain amount of failures. So those are a couple really good reasons that you want to get those items lined up. So there's an article on our website called "Creating Meaning," right? And it's for leaders to just kind of read down. And what you'll see in our articles is that a lot of times at the end of our articles, I leave a bunch of the thoughts and brainstorms that I used to make the article. And I'm not a great writer, so I don't always know, I'm not always great at getting every single thought in. So I'll just leave them tagged at the bottom. And one of the things that I like to use those for is I'll go back and read them myself and share them with leaders that I'm connected to. And they'll go share them with their staff. And these are things that, when I was in buildings with a lot more staff within the building, we would create these small trainings, these small little conversations, and the staff starts to expect those conversations. So when you read our articles and when you use our stuff, feel free to show it to your staff and bring it to them and have these discussions. What does it really mean to your business? What does it mean for your people? You're getting an experience of what it means for you because you're watching this stuff. You might be a leader and you're really interested in watching this stuff all the time. And you're probably watching a bunch of different people. You want to bring that to your staff and give them the chance to start developing these meanings in their career and start to tie those meanings to maybe being in your building. Maybe a few people, either graduate or choose away from your company, but when you start to build these meanings within it, they're choosing you for the right reason. You're stacking their meaning along with your meaning. You're kind of sandwiching them together and you're working together on that. So, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. Again, Mike, Baker Street Consulting. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day.